Hello guys, let's try to do it quickly because I don't have much time. So it's mainly for entertainment. So quick recap on the S&P. Our last prediction was that the S&P gonna reach to the 422 and it did. Almost 422.29, almost 30 cents almost. And then made a rebound. So far, best prediction. Some stocks was incorrect, like the gold, like I think it was mRNA and stuff, but most of them was correct. So let's see what we can predict for next week. So we can see here that it basically bounced on the 200, made a rejection, tried to pierce it and reject, and then ended red. If we go to the monthly, you will see it more clearly. You can see where it ends. Usually when you see this move and it breach the 50%, it may continue even lower. And you can see the cross here. So it finished, so it crossed. So it usually means a correction. Let's check it here. This is 96.30. 94, 98, in this area 94. So there is a little bit divergence, not so clear. If we check it on the weekly and see how it goes, you can see some people call it double top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see a close below. So it's try to be bearish, even though this could be a green like a green candle, because you see the power of the buying indecision. So if they see and moving above this point, it could say that it could go up and maybe consolidate. But so far, we can see the move for the downside, which we wait for, and this is a divergence which didn't complete yet. So we have to take it into consideration. So if we take it from here to there, you can see the potential to reach to the 420 on the 50% and then bounce from there for the upside. So far the momentum is for the down, and we should wait for the 420 to see how it reacts for it. On the daily, we can see the bounce. This is a downtrend, and this is the break of the of the uptrend. So it was moving up, 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 up. This is the break. So usually when there is a break, it could move to the upside, and we have a gap from above. And then from the 440, 442, it could continue its downtrend. So the move could be something like this, and then moving for the down. And we still have some unclosed gap from below. Let's move it for the 1 hour. Let's move it here for the 4-hour chart. So you can see on the 4-hour chart, it tried to pierce the up and get rejected. So there is a potential to reach for the 421, even the 420. So I'm still biased to the downside. There is the divergence. You can see it here. This is making a higher high, and this is making lower high. So there is a potential to moving. Momentum is down, even though it's still a little bit far from the 200. I don't think yet it will. And the momentum is for the down. You can see even the volume for the downside. Let me check something here. The trigger for the downside is below the 425.60. If we could see it, let me check 425.60. Yeah. If we see it close below, it could move for the downside. Momentum is down. It could bounce from the 424.30 area. It can do a bounce, but I'm still biased for the 418.90. So this is the area I want to see the price getting. Um, so another red candle and it immediately will fall down. Let's check it on the 1 hour chart and see how it looks. On the 1 hour chart, we can see the move for the down. It didn't break, it that touched here. So it could continue even lower. So above we see it here. Let's check it here. This is 686. What? This is 1921. I don't know what it did here. All right. So momentum is still for the downside. Now what? Let's check it on the 15 minutes and see how it looks there. It's a very short time frame. So it's below the 200. Momentum is down. What we got here? No. Yeah. So I think many people will take it short below the 425, 426 area, and will take it short. You can see the rejection here immediately for the sellers. The momentum is for the sell side. Let's move for the Qs. Probably the same. I want to see it below the 340, 54.60. This is the 15 minutes. Let's try to be positive here. You can see it. So the Qs is more positive than the SPY, and it seems that the SPY is leading the market, not the Qs at the moment. And what we got here? Can't tell much there. Let's move on the daily. It touched the Fibonacci level, which was great, and bounced from it. But it did make a break. It did make a lower low here, so continuation for the downside. So people will try to find entry price for the short side. This was a great one. And same goes, it touched the 351 here, 36 here. So it's still we got the bearish moves. So I'm biased to the downside, but I want to see a clear cut below the 354. It could bounce from the 355.80, so be careful. But if it breaks below it, the 355, it could push for the downside again to this area. So I'm biased still for the downside. Let's check it on the 1 hour chart. Did we see something special? No, it just bounced from it. This is the first touch. Usually it comes, but it did a maneuver. This is a maneuver of trying to break the downtrend, which is good. And you can see here what happened. It touched here, fell, and immediately jumped off. Alright, so I'm looking for this move. I don't want to trade the move for the upside. I want to trade the move because the momentum is still for the downside. But this is the first touch, so it can continue lower here. So this is the first touch. So get ready for it. Don't usually that accurate. So it could be this is the first touch, this is the second touch. But at the moment, what I see here, I'm still seeing make it downtrend. So I'm biased to the downside. Tesla. Let's see Tesla. What he say to us? Tesla is started to be positive a little bit. So it could. I want to see how it reacts again to the 243 area, 245 area. In order to push down, it needs to be 245 below, closing below the 245 here. If it's close, it can continue lower, guys, to the 223 even, moving much lower. So far, there is a potential to reach to the 252, all right, in the short term, and then moving lower. The downtrend to the 240 even. So I'm still biased for the downside because of the break from the 254. This is the move down. This is a taking profit for closing the gap. So this is a short momentum, I think. Let's see what we see here. This is 22221. This is moving up. This is moving down. This is a good move for the upside. What we got here is 96.74, 98. This is higher. It seems that it wants to move higher. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. It bounced from here. Got rejected. Seems that the buyers want to reach there. This is 90.02. This is 88. So momentum is still down. No divergence. It can push a little bit higher and then collapse for the downside. So be very careful when momentum is negative. And it could do a small push to the 240. So I think Tesla could be a little bit tricky this week. It can hold the 240 and create a divergence for the upside. Let's look on Apple. Apple downtrending. If we look at it here, you can see downtrend, can continue lower. We have some sort of divergence. So just moving below here, it will continue down. If we look at it on the daily and see how it looks, same goes here. I'm more biased to the downside. For the gap close here, that's 165. I think people waiting for it on the 165 area. If we make it smaller, so you can see this is a big uptrend. And this is the first reversal. This is the break. And what do you see here, guys? This is a hidden divergence. Oh my God. And this hidden divergence can push the market for the upside. So be very careful. It's very tricky. Because it's a move, you can see it even here. It's a move for the upside, but a small move. And it lost its momentum. So now, this is, I want to see it even a little bit lower, even testing, but will be perfect if it will touch the 165 and create divergence for the upside, because it can spike up and move. They try to hit the 190 and fail. And if they move a little bit further, enter all the short sellers and then move for the upside, they will have a power to break the 190 and move for the 200. Can it be this week? I'm doubt. They will need a lot of power to break for the upside. But you can see the divergence even here. Very unique one. Let's move for NVIDIA. Come on, NVIDIA, break for the downside. I didn't break it. Still have some power, but you see there is the divergence for the downside. And what we got here. So this is the reversal. I want to see clean break for the down. Below here and trying to break for the down. It still has some power, so it can reach to the 456. Let's check it up here. You can see the pattern. So it tried to bring the sellers in at the 450 and then maybe break. What we got here, this is 676. This is much lower and this is higher. So again, divergent for the upside, but in a bearish momentum. So it could be just a reversal, and it did a reversal. So we have to see what it says about the 50. Could be tricky, guys. Meta. Meta probably sideways move, waiting for its right moment. Nothing to do here. Let's move for the 1 hour chart. Let's see it on here. Sideways move, I will not join it. You can see the spike from below, spike from above. What we got here, this is 93.69. This is 91. So still sideways. It seems it's positive a little bit. Managed to hold, but try to be and start to be a little bit negative. In here you can see the sideways move. Don't touch it, guys. Don't touch it, even though you can see divergence for the upside. So you just need to make a cross up to move a little bit up. So this is a good sign. BA. No, mRNA. mRNA. Don't like the move. Didn't manage to predict it correctly. This is the failure. Even though it's my entry point for the upside was here, which was good, but still I failed to anticipate the move for the downside. So now it got rejected. It still didn't make a nice divergence, but the momentum is for the downside. If we look at it here, you can see this is much up also here, but we still don't make a cross for the downside. So I want to see it below the 50 and then see what the momentum is doing, because it can try to continue up and break it. So be very careful with it. If you look at it on the daily, you can see how it looks. This is 1, this is 2. Do we have divergent? I don't think so. This is 3, 2, 2, 2. No, there is no divergence. So could be sideways. Nothing much to say here. Could cross above and push up to the 107. Here I don't see anything much to just going for the downside, maybe in the short term. In the longer term, I won't enter it yet. BA. BA down, 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 down. Perfectly executed. Will the 190 hold it? I don't think so. You can see the sellers in control. Don't let it get above the 33, 35 area. Correct. This is the 34. And you can see the volume up here. So maybe a little bit buying pressure and try to and you can see it here. This is took out all those and managed to break them. So will it touch the 188, even the 186? Because this is a nice hold. Let's make it disappear and then try to move for the upside. I'm biased for the downside. So even if it make reversal, because this is a little bit extended, this is extended, so it can make the push for the upside for the 200, even the 202. I don't see it coming to the 208 and then continue lower. So be prepared. You can see how it's extended here on the daily and managed to break all these and still end in red. You don't see the bouncing up like this candle. You can see it red and inside candle, indecision candle with a big volume for the red because it took out all the stop losses. This is the gap we talked about, which closed, and we still have some gap left from behind. You can see the Fibonacci level we talked about it. So a good retracement will be for the 167, but it doesn't mean it will just move for the downside. It could make the reversal. Let's check it on the 1 hour chart. Still momentum for the downside. All right, so now we can see a little bit attempt to break. So you can probably take it a little bit small step above the 193 for the 125 maybe with a small stop losses, 1 to 2, something like this, nothing much. Let's talk about gold, which was a failure again. It was falling. You can see it here. Let's move for the 4-hour chart. You can see same goes here. It failed. It didn't close the gap, and so probably it will. Momentum is down too extended, so it can bounce up back, but you don't have any indication for it. You can see this was a good entry candle, guys. This was a good entry candle. You can see the divergence and immediately big candle for the break. If we watched it on the daily, see how it looks. You can see big candle, big selling candle, big volume. Guys, it's moving for the downside. Probably gonna cross it, the gap on the 170, which is good. I don't know if it can reach there. But at the moment, gold don't like the interest rate hiking. So this is the main reason why it fall. We could see the break here and the rejection, and it broke the trend. And this is why the main reason why I don't like trend lines, because it makes the trend and it didn't support there and then just fell. So guys, for the downside, guys, this is it. Let's talk about silver. See the rejection there, even though silver much stronger, and see the rejection and coming back here. This is a good area of buying pressure, the 2050. It broke and closed below. This is a big volume candle. This is a big candle of rejection. It could be very careful because it can do small bounce and then continue for the downside. So look for opportunity to take it short and not for the long side. Oxy tried to be negative a little bit. Momentum is for the downside, so the sellers came in. It's still in a no zone because it gives me indication. You can see the big candle from both sides. So this is like a small V shape, moving up, moving down. Guys, come on, decide. On the daily, sideways move. This is a big area for accumulation and distribution. So probably people take it above the 68 for the move for the upside, or below the 60, 61 for the downside. Let's look at it on the 1 hour chart. What we see here, big sideways move. So indecision candle, people probably try to close this gap and below will follow for the downside. For the move for the upside, this could be interesting above the 67, but there is sellers there, so be prepared. IWM, the Russell. Let's gonna see how it looks. Again, got rejected. Probably continue. Started to be a little bit making a hidden divergence for the upside. So let's see if it's gonna bounce from this area, the 175.50, and see how it goes. There is no divergence, I think, here. 86.71, and this is 88. So could mean another push a little bit for the downside. If we look at it on the 1 hour chart, probably let's see how it reacts to the 176, even 175 area. And if it bring the buyers, and then we will look. Let's check it here. This is 684. This is 687. So a little bit push down and then moving for the upside maybe. So guys, let's sum it up because this is a little bit tricky. This is the start of the month. We could see a little bit maybe trying to make a push to the upside, but it needs to bring the buyers. You could see here the buyers, the volume here is stronger, which is good, like here at the end of the session and moving for the upside, but doesn't give us much. At the moment, it seems that the Qs and the SPY, even though they try to be positive at the end of the month, I think it's just closing some options and they will still probably moving for the downside. There is more potential for move for the downside, so be very careful and continue for the downside. So we just need to clear some 425.50 and it will move even down further to close more gaps. So my prediction, I'm still biased for the downside. You can see the trend. If you look at it on the daily chart, you can see it much clearer. This is a move for the upside, and this is the break of the trend. This is cup and handle, reverse cup and handle. So it means it can reach to the, this is a 30 move. So there is a potential to reach for the 400, and I think a lot of people wait for the closing some gap from below in the attempt to reach for the 400. And usually this is the fourth quarter of the month usually ended positive. So I think a lot of people want to see October positive, even a little bit, 1%, half a percent, the month, I mean. So it could be very interesting to see how the monthly goes, even if it's move a little bit up, holding, could be very interesting to see. I see the cross on the monthly. Let's check it here on the Nasdaq. On the Nasdaq, you can see the cross and IWM. Let's see how it looks there. And here we don't see the cross yet. And this could be a bear flag, but it didn't break. So if it, let's say, assume break below the 173 and close below on the monthly, could push a little bit lower, could be very tricky, very careful, even though this is a big area of accumulation. So both sides could be. I don't have any indication, but there is a divergence. It tried to move up and fail. If it's a little bit move for the downside, it could push the market down. You can see it here. So it's making a divergence. It didn't complete for the upside. So if it will be green, it could push the Russell up. It will push the SPY up. It will push. Let's look it up here on the weekly. See how it looks. This is the main difference. It creates divergence for the downside. You can see it on the weekly, but it didn't finish. So we need to see if it managed to come above the 432. And I don't have any indication yet. One bit cautious. So guys, thank you. The kid is shouting, so I need to go. Bye bye.